We preview the Jacksonville Jaguars season and tell you if they can eclipse their season win total, and we'll let you know how you could take home $1,000 this NFL season for absolutely no cost to you. And it all starts right now. What is going on, everybody? It's Matt from Grandstand Bettors, and last year we cashed 70% of our season win total predictions, so we figured why not run it back in 2022 and go for 80%. Now, also this year we have our second annual NFL betting contest going on at grandstandbettors.com. We're going to get into that in just a moment, but first, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you're not going to want to miss any of our 32 prediction videos. And while you're at it, smack that like button because the NFL preseason starts today with the Hall of Fame game. I know I'm excited. I know you're excited. But without further ado, let's dive into the Jacksonville Jaguars season preview. And the Jags, they have a season win total at 6.5. The Jags have had the worst record in the NFL for the past two seasons now, and their first overall draft pick last season did not turn out well as they were hoping it would. Trevor Lawerence, he did throw for 3,641 yards, but that was only with a 59 completion percentage, and he also threw 17 interceptions on the year with only 12 touchdowns. They ended up with the second most turnovers in the league last season, and their passing offense and rushing offense ranked in the bottom half of the league, combining for only 305 yards per game, which was 27th in the NFL. Now, they did lose James Robinson for a few games to an injury, which contributed to this, but overall, it was Lawrence's inability to get guys the ball like Marvin Jones and Chenault. The Jags did bring in a few more weapons this season for Lawerence. They added Christian Kirk from the Cardinals and Zay Jones from the Raiders at wide receiver, as well as a tight end, Evan Ingram from the Giants. They will also be getting back their other first-round draft pick from 2021, Travis Etienne Jr., who was out all last season after suffering an injury before the season even started. He should pair very nicely in the backfield with James Robinson, making this a very dynamic offense. If Lawerence can have a better second year, hey, who knows? Watch out for the Jags? Maybe. The other big issue, though, with their offense last season was their big men. They let Lawerence get hurried 68 times, which was tied for sixth worst in the league. This resulted in him getting hit 51 times and sacked 32 times, both of which are not ideal for a rookie and a first overall pick. They made two additions to the line, though, to try and fix this. They signed guard Brandon Scherf, I probably said that right or wrong, from the Commanders, and drafted center Luke Fortner in the third round out of Kentucky. Now, Fortner was a great draft pick in our minds because he can play all three of the interior line positions, and that was a major weakness for the Jags last season as most of the pressure generated on Lawerence came from the middle. Defensively, the Jags secondary was actually not half bad last season. They ranked 17th in the league, which is up from 2020 when they ranked 27th in the NFL. However, their run defense still ranked 24th as they gave up 26 points per game. And the worst part of their defense, though, was their ability to force turnovers. They only had, the Jags, get this, 9 total takeaways last season, which was by far the worst in the league. In fact, the next worst team was the New York Jets, and they had 5 more with 14 takeaways. Now, this contributed to their team differential or their turnover differential being at minus 20. No matter what team it is, it's very hard to win games if you're losing the turnover battle every single Sunday. And to top things off, the Jags had 2 linebackers who led them in tackling last season, both with over 100 tackles, go to other teams in free agency. They lost their leading tackler, Miles Jack, to the Steelers, and their second leading tackler, Damian Wilson, to the Panthers. They had a gaping hole in their defense, and this did not miss and they did not miss a beat, though, in the draft, filling that in. With both their first-round picks this year, they drafted edge rusher Trayvon Walker out of Georgia and linebacker Devin Lloyd out of Utah, as well as another linebacker in the third round. So, hey, they're doing what they can to fill those holes on their defense. Now, we do think this defense is not going to get much better this season, considering they didn't bring in any help for their secondary and they lost two of their best linebackers in free agency, but they have some good talent coming out of the draft. And listen, it might not make them a top 16 defense of the league, but maybe a little bit better. Even when you look at the results from last season more closely, though, if the Bills did not have that hiccup in Week 9 and their kicker, Matthew Wright, did not hit back-to-back 50-yard field goals in London, they might have only been a one-win team last season. The fact that Vegas keeps their over-under at 6.5 is a bit surprising to us because, as you might guessed it, we're going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars under 6.5 wins, and I know I might regret this, but we think this one is easy. Now, our previews continue all month long as we break down the Indianapolis Colts tomorrow and the rest of the NFL as the month goes on. In the meantime, don't forget to sign up for our 2022 NFL betting contest over at Grandstand Bettors.com. We're giving away great quarterly prizes again this year, and the winner, the grand prize winner, is going to take home $1,000 of our cold hard cash. As always, though, sit back, relax, enjoy the NFL preseason as it gets underway tonight, and we will see you soon with that Indianapolis Colts season preview.